My name is Jacqualyn Link, and my research project is Society's Influence on Police Departments' Social Media. Within the year 2020, a major event shook the police. That event was the death of George Floyd on May 25, 2020. After his death, countless people took to the street calling for action, as well as taking to Twitter. 3 groups were looked into with this research project. Those groups were the Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Toledo police departments. They helped cover the state of Ohio from the northeast to the southwest corner. My research question was, did Ohio police departments change the content of their tweets during and after this social event? Regarding the literature review, there were 2 apparent themes in the articles. The first theme was offline events affect online events, such as the death of George Floyd and the backlash police got from it. The second theme was police-citizen relations and how technology affects that relationship. Usually, if the police are less on technology and more out in the community, there's a better relationship. Finally, the sub-theme was crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is using information typically from the internet to understand a group of people. Throughout the course of 9 months, research was conducted and literature reviews were read within the topic of media and policing to establish the importance of this research. In addition, over those months, data was collected from the Twitter accounts of the 3 police departments. The next step was coding. Upon finishing the coding, a statistical review was done to see if, in fact, there was a change in content put out by the police departments, and if so, how much of a change. This first chart is a summary of the statistics. It shows the amount of tweets in each category. The categories are general information, crime-specific, law enforcement and community outreach, and finally response posts. With the response posts, there are 2 different types of posts, a positive and a negative one. The negative posts were subject to opinion and were decided upon the type of language. The wording of the tweets had a negative connotation, and that is how it was decided as a negative post. Figure 1 shows a better breakdown of the tweet statistics. With Figure 1, it breaks down the categories for before and after George Floyd's death. Looking at the general information and crime-specific tweets, there is not a noticeable change. However, looking at the law enforcement and community outreach, it shows a great decrease in the number of tweets in that category after Floyd's death. Another thing to note is that before Floyd's death on May 25th, the departments only collectively tweeted 1,178 times. However, after Floyd's death, the departments tweeted 1,974 times. That is roughly 800 more tweets after Floyd's death. This spike may be contributed by the jump in response post. Figure 2 shows a more in-depth look at the response post before and after Floyd's death by the individual police departments. As you can see from the graph, before Floyd's death, most response posts were positive. Cleveland even had 0 negative response posts. However, after Floyd's death, it is completely different. Cincinnati appears to be a mirrored image of itself from before the death. Toledo shows a huge change as well as from Floyd's death. Finally, Cleveland went from 0 negative posts to being about 50-50 with positive and negative. Another neat find with this figure is that just like Figure 1, there's a noticeable increase in the number of tweets produced by the departments. The amount of response posts after Floyd's death almost doubles that of before. From the data, you can see that after Floyd's death, police departments interacted more frequently with the online community. This is seen with Figure 1 with almost 800 more tweets produced after his death. The second conclusion from the data is that the interaction was largely more negative after Floyd's death than before. This is seen with Figure 2 with the mirrored image of Cincinnati as well as the split in Toledo and Cleveland. By our coding process, the tweet's content was deemed different before and after Floyd's death based on the response post. Limitations of this research was the subjective assessment of positive and negative tweets, as well as only 3 departments in the state of Ohio were researched. One of the implications of the research was police departments should be more aware of the way they react to post and social events. With future direction in this project, we should look into more major social issues, such as the aftermath of the trial of George Floyd. We should see if smaller police departments are tweeting about the same issues and if they're affected as greatly as the larger police departments, as well as add in other police departments across the United States, such as New York Police Department, Los Angeles Police Department, and Chicago Police Department. Thank you for watching my presentation, and always remember, be kind online.